called Incircle. Because you're encircling something, you face inwards, and you use it for positioning. Because if you just charge someone from the line, the problem is only the front two guys really get to engage because the rest of us all get backed up behind them. We can't get past. So if you've got a bunch of dudes on a point somewhere standing together, you can position yourselves around them so everyone has a line to attack upon before you engage them. So we're going to do this now. This is the Incircle. We're going to approach it, and then I will say Incircle, and we're going to move around it once these guys are out of our way. Yeah, they're moving. Alrighty. Come on, guys. Let's go. Column march. Column Incircle. So we want to become nice around it. Did I have left, guys? Yep. You're facing into it, though. Nice distance from it. Facing into it. Pretend it's enemies. You don't want to be right up at them. You don't want them to be able to attack you. So we do that. We come in and we just slowly circle around until they're stuck in the middle between us. They can't do anything. And then we could all attack. Yes, just like that. Something I did neglect to mention earlier is when you're in formation, you have your spear out. Now, you guys, some of you have javelins. That's okay. My guys use spears, but we defaultly have our spears out because it means we can poke or engage at far range before they press in, or we can take care of any cavalry that come past very quickly. So that's an Incircle. It's different from our other sort of circle, which is called an orbum. If everybody about faces right now, if you all turn 180, you're all facing outwards now as if the enemy are coming from around us. That's orbum. We have a specific name so you never get it confused. The orbum can be formed around a point on the map, or it can be formed around a player. So if we mingle, if we just all walk about now, just come into this open area over by me now. Just be separate. Don't be in any sort of formation or anything. If I say form an orbum on me, you come to be around me, you surround me to protect me, then you step outwards. You all step outwards, we're all facing outwards, take another couple steps out, and then I'll look for the biggest gap and I'll fill it. So now we're protecting in a circle. We have what's called all-round defense. The military call it all-round defense. It means we can quickly identify an incoming threat and we can make a plan to engage it. This formation is weak against archers or cavalry because there's always someone with their back to them. So if you're under heavy ranged engagement from archers or javelin throwers, don't form this because you guys who are facing away from them are just going to cop javelins in the back and the head and there'll be nothing they can do.
Nope.
Is he one of us or is he just...
He's not one of us.
He's in gear. He's just following along. Ignore him for now. If he gets in our way, we'll deal with him.
Don't kill him.
Don't kill him. Just ignore him, Smiley. Alrighty, so that is the orbum. The other one is the Incircle. It's an action. It's a doing thing. We've also got Trezor in here. I don't know if Trezor's in the Discord.
No, he's not.
Yeah. Ignore him for now. They're following along with what I was doing. Just keep a line of what you're doing. They're what we call the formations of movement because you can form them at the move and they have some element of movement to them. We have two kinds of Testudo, a double and a triple. A double means there's 2 men at the front and you're sort of like just two columns. Triple is 3 men at the front. The way you form them is the right men step out, or if you form the triple, everybody steps out. So can we just form a column on me, and I'll run you through it in slow-mo. Column on me, backman tell me when we're set.
Column set.
Thank you. Has everybody got correct shield directions?
No.
No, Trezor doesn't. Nor him, he doesn't know what we're doing. Ignore him.
He can't hear us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So when we form a double Testudo, remember when we formed that dual column, how the guys on the right stepped outwards?
Mm-hmm.
You do that, but you do it nice and tight in by me, so we're all squished up against each other. So let's do that now. Double Testudo. Right, guys, step out and you form up nice and tight. Now, front row of this formation crouches. Everyone else stands. You have your shield facing 45 degrees out on the side that you're on. That protects us from the sides. We can march in this, and we can also run in this, but you really wouldn't because of the hitboxes. If you're in an emergency, if you run, you really break. But we can march nice and tight. However, when we're turning, the leader will actually say wheel left or wheel right. It's a reminder that if you're on the outside, you've actually got to move faster. If we start turning left, Ping, Philippang, and Negev are actually going to have to run a little to catch up because we're on the inside of the turn and we move quicker. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're going to just formation, prepare, march. March. Wheel left. You guys on the outside got to run a little to catch up with me. Did that make sense? Wheel left.
Yeah.
going back in. You run a little to catch up, and we're going to formation halt now. Nice and tight like that. If it's easy for you guys, you can be in third-person formation. Sorry, third-person camera will make it easier to move around with seeing you guys. Now, we're going to form a column again on me.
We're back. That random was just...
That's okay. If you don't fit, just fall back behind them. They're sort of coming in.
Set.
Cool. We're going to do a triple testudo this time. So that was a double. Remember, double's 2. We got 2 lines. Triple is like that, but there's a guy either side of me. And the way we know who they are is the right guy falls around the right, the left guy falls around the right. However, remember in that wedge, the 4th man was special. Who's the 4th man this time?
Same. Me.
Same guy. You're going to fall up my ass again.
Okay.
So, triple testudo. So, guy on my right, come to my right. Guy on my left, come to my left. Guy behind me. Rest of you fall in. And then there's 2 guys at the back in the middle. But we're missing one, so you can kind of ignore it.
This is a triple.
Yeah, exactly. This is a triple testudo. So we can march with this again, just like the double. This doesn't fit through a lot of gaps, though. The double pretty much is optimized to fit through most of the doorways and gateways and little areas like that. The triple can kind of fit out the gatehouse on Taiga, but that's about it. But the triple is much more imposing. This is a formation we use when we want the enemy to fuck off. We will walk towards them in this. They will walk backwards. Because every single one of them does not want to take on 8 dudes at once. All right. We're going to form column on me again.
I'm set.
If you don't fit, or if you, are we all set? Yep, we are. Cool. That's cool. Next one is called duolinear. Duo is 2, linear is lines. Just remember that. It's pretty easy. Duolinear works by having 4 up the front and 4 up the back. Front guys crouch, back guys stand. Let's do that now. Duolinear on my right. First 4 guys fall up to the front, and then we'll have 3 at the back because we're missing someone.
No,
I see a front row of 5. Who didn't count?
There's
a
random here.
I know, but 4 guys should still fit in the back. We've got 4 guys up front, so I should see 4 in the back if you fit. Just tack on at the end if you don't. Yep, in the middle, that works. Nice. Ignore the randoms unless they're helping us. This is a duolinear. From here, it's stationary. We don't move in this. It's too hard. You're too wide. However, we can space out, but we'll do that a little later. Come on, guys. What we're going to do is actually command a pilum throw. We can actually, so as I said, the default is to have your spear out, or in your case, a javelin. We can throw them. The commands for this are relatively simple. You'll hear prepare pilum, which is your spear, and then you'll hear a countdown. The countdown will be the numbers 3, 2, 1. You press the throw button when you hear the 1. It's kind of like, when you listen to music, you can clap on time with the beat. It's on that 1 that you press it. So I'm going to do it now, and we'll just throw them off the edge, and we may have to hit end if you don't have a spare to kill yourself and come back in. But we'll just test it. We'll test if we can all throw at once. This is the default normal throw. There's a secondary throw I'll do in a second for you guys. So, formation, prepare pilum, throw. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh. That was a bit... Alright.
Yeah, it was. It always is the first go. And yeah, if you don't have your spear, just kill yourself. We're going to do another one. So everybody's got to remember to throw on the 1. Now, the reason it was bad is because I let you find out something for yourself, but I'll tell you what it is. If you're holding your shield up, you can't throw. You need to let go of your shield on the 1 or the 2. It's your choice. Just remember, you have to let go of your shield or you can't throw. Let's get in that same formation again, guys. So we're missing 1 guy. It's Smiley. He's just respawning.
Okay.
Yeah. Let them be our target for the spears.
All right, we're in. Alrighty, guys, a little bit of silence. I'm going to command it again. We'll just do it as we did. Remember to lower your shield on the 1 or the 2, just so you've got plenty of room to hit the R or your throw button on the 1. Formation, prepare pilum. Throwing on 3, 2, 1. That was a lot nicer. Remember to crouch. I stood up. momentarily. Luckily, I sat back down. Don't stand. You'll cop one in the back of your head. If you don't have yours, just hit end again. We're going to do what's called the secret throw now. The secret throw is where we actually hide the back row's throw behind the front row because they all stand until the last moment. The enemy never see it coming. Let's come back a bit. We'll form it somewhere else so we're not having to collect them. Come through to me to the right side of the map. We're going to aim at this wall in front of us. Dual linear on me. On my right.
What the fuck are you?
I've got no hat. We got 4 men up the front and 4 men up the back. Sounds like a song.
4
Yep, alrighty. We're going to be throwing at this wall. However, this is a bit different. The command you'll hear instead is back row prepare pilum. That is the hint that it's only the secret throw, only the back row are throwing because the front row haven't received that order. Then what you'll hear is front rank stand, which is where the front row stand up. So do that now, guys. That's what we do on front row stand. The back guys are ready to throw. We're standing. When you hear the countdown, on 1, the front row crouch because you don't want to get your head knocked off, and the back row throw. You don't throw if you're in the front row. You keep them so we've got that ability to push the enemy back if they charge us afterwards. You can do this with the enemy in tight even while fighting, and the enemy will cop that spear to their face if the back row are any good at aiming. When we're done throwing, though, you don't break formation to retrieve. If you break formation to retrieve, you've made a gap and the enemy will exploit it. You're not helping your comrades. You're just being greedy and trying to get your spear back. Alrighty. Front row crouch. That's normal dual linear. Back row prepare pilum. Front rank stand. Throwing. 3, 2, 1. Nicey. Back row retrieve pilum. You got him? Alrighty. That's the secret throw. Pretty simple. It happens. You still got javelins though, do you?
No, I equipped the actual one.
Alright, you better hit the end button.
Oh.
Oh, too late. Someone's dead. They're all of the formations. They're quite simple. They've got different uses, but I will explain those uses in more depth to the guys who'll be leading you all. But they're the formations. All we're missing now is a set of orders we have that help you stay alive. They're really simple. We're going to come over here and form another dual linear on me. I'll move a bit to my left, sorry. Someone at the back tell me when we're set, so we should have 4 up front, 3 up the back.
So, wait. We got a random... Where's our... So we have one more, right?
We should have one more. I think it's Smiley.
Yeah, it's Smiley.
Smiley, yep.
So.
Alrighty, we're set. Thank you. Okay, so we've got 2 orders that make it so you can fight. It's very hard to fight when we're tight in like this. Because you don't have the movement room. You'll stab your friends. People will be bumping into each other. You can't dodge. You can't get out the way. You can't shield in the direction you want to. So, we have 2 movement orders. One is called combat spacing. One is called form relief line. Combat spacing is about our horizontal spacing. Relief line is about sending the dudes at the back further back so we can dodge forwards and backwards as we're fighting. So combat spacing works by making sure that everybody steps to their right to make sure they've got 2 men's space on their left. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
So the whole formation is going to extend out right ways to make sure there's gaps between everybody about 2 men's width. So let's do that now. Formation, combat spacing. And the back row just follow the dude in front of them. Spicy, you went a little bit too far. Come back about halfway between us. Yep, nice. I'm just going to step out now. Ignore my movement. That's about the spacing you want. You can have a little bit more normally, but that's about it. Alrighty, I'm back in. Pretend there's a guy behind me, guys. There isn't, but just pretend it. Alright, guys. Yep. Now, the back guy should still be up the ice of the front guy. So, keep your horizontal spacing. But now what we're going to do is I'm going to send the back guys back. I'm going to say, form relief line, and you step backwards about the same distance we moved horizontally. So, form relief line, the back row goes back. Yep. So now, if you notice, we're at squares with each other. We all have about equal distance horizontally and vertically between each other. We've got space at the front row to fight and move. What we can also do in this situation is called cycling. I'm going to step out momentarily, pretend I'm no longer in this formation, and ignore Flamby, who's on the right of it. Just the 6 of you are going to cycle. How this works is if we're cycling to the right, what's going to happen is everybody's going to move like a tank tread. You move in a sort of like a wheel. You're replacing the guy to your right. Obviously, in the back row, that means you're replacing the guy to your left. So what's going to happen is if everyone can see everyone's names, Spicy Noodles is going to move to his right and don't do it yet, but you're going to move and swap with Ping, who's going to move to his right and swap with Philippang, who's going to move backwards and swap with Smiley, who's going to move to his left and swap with Negev, who's going to move to his left and swap with Taylor, who's going to move forwards and swap with Spicy. So you all rotate like a great big clock or a wheel. Make sense, everybody?
Yep.
That's called a cycle right because the front row moves right. In a cycle left, the front row moves left and the back row moves correspondingly. Generally, we will give a prepare order first. You'll hear prepare cycle, then you'll hear a direction. The reason is because you've actually got to do a bit of brain mathematics. You've got to remember, where am I? Am I on an edge? Am I moving forwards or backwards? Am I moving to my right or my left? So we'll prepare it first. Also, if we're at the crouch, which the front row should be by default. So front row crouching, please. You stand up to move, then you crouch back down if you're still in the front row. Makes sense? If you enter the front row, you walk forwards, then you crouch. If you leave it, you walk backwards and you can stay standing. Alrighty, formation, prepare to cycle. Cycle right. So you're standing, you move. Someone in the back went the wrong way. Smiley. You moron. The most experienced here and he went the wrong way. Alrighty, get back in, come on. Yeah, retrieve him. Prepare cycle. Cycle right.
You went the wrong way, Philippine. You should go left.
That's okay. It happens. Little bit
Okay.
of practice. Cycle right. Cycle left. Cycle left. Cycle left. And eventually you get really good like that. That was nice and smooth, guys. Cycle right. And you just know it. And you know the spacing. You know how far you're moving each time. Come on, Smiley. What are you doing? So that's cycling. That's a way... If Spicy Noodles up the front right was to be really injured, rather than trying to do if they weren't relief lining, I could just order a cycle right and he'd get put out, and we'd also get a fresh guy up the front left. It puts 2 fresh guys in, essentially. Or it subs an unhealthy guy out and puts a fresh guy in. So it's a good way of doing that quickly if people are listening and you've got the time to do it. Now we're going to do what's called Voluntary Man Relief. This is about caring for each other. So when you're fighting, the guy up the front's focus is on his health and the enemy's health. The guy up the back's focus is on the man in front's health and your surroundings. So if I'm hitting Negev here, if he takes a shot from me, he can actually, if he's thinking he's at risk, he can say, relief Negev, or relief his name, and the guy behind him can say, Negev, fall back. I will be Negev. So I'm going to say relief Veterinarix, and then Smiley is going to say...
Relief Veterinarix, fall back.
Fall back Veterinarix. Yep, and what happens is I take a step to my left, he moves straight forwards, I move backwards. So I get out of his way,
yep.
And he moves into my place. So we orbit each other. We'll do it again. So let's say Smiley takes a shot, and Smiley's being a moron, and he doesn't notice. I can actually say, Smiley relief, and he can say, Smiley falling back. And then I'll replace him like I did. Yep, like that. So either the back man or the front man can initiate, but there is always the callback, because that's how you know you've got a man to replace. So if you're getting hammered and you say, Veterinarix relief, but no one actually replies, you can't fall back because there's no one behind you. You have to hold there and die instead. That's how it works. And it's always front man relief, front man fall back. You never shout the name of the guy behind. It's unambiguous that it is always the man up the front who is being injured that's being replaced. And also, obviously, hey, Taylor, can you not shield for me at all? I just want to test something. Don't shield. Don't shield. Right. Put your shield down. I want to see what happens. He's dead. What happens?
Move forward from back.
Guy up the back had to go straight forward and cover that place. As soon as the guy up front's dead, that's your job. Again, you're caring for his health. You're watching him. If neither of you notice he's dying, or if he gets done by a maul in one go, you have to push up straight away. Another case you can push up straight away without warning is if he gets kicked and looks like he's about to be finished off, you can try to intercept the finisher move if he's being kicked. Stuff like that. We want to keep people alive. That's the goal. If we've got time to talk and do it, we do. But if we don't, you act first. The other thing we can do is a full row relief. So can I get someone up in this front corner again? Maybe Megafish wants to join us. Oh, join the back. Yep. He's understanding kind of what we're doing. I've got 6 of you again. This will work for me. Have we got someone in who's not? Yep, everyone's on the call. Cool. So, like that one-man relief, remember, front man steps to his left, then goes back. The back guys go straight forwards. So what we're going to do is I can say, prepare front row relief, and then I can give an order for the whole front row to be relieved and all the back row step forward. Make sense? We can do everyone at once because you got those nice big gaps there. Alrighty, prepare front row relief. Front row relieve. Front row step to the left, back row go forwards. Nearly. We'll do it once more just to nail it in. Front row, prepare relief. Front row, relieve. Nice. Nailed it. You could do that to swap everyone in your front row out. Now, if you're in this formation or any sort of formation where you're in like this, if you get an enemy in amongst you, or if you look to your right and you notice there's an enemy running around trying to get to you from the side, the call, if he's within your perimeter, is Black Snake. That's actually a military call. They use that if there is someone who is flanking their position or has crossed their lines and is a threat to them. Black Snake. Guess who goes to attack the Black Snake?
The back guys?
The relief line. The front line do not move. I'd rather them die than move because they are the only barrier we have that holds more enemy back from breaching. So the back guys go in proportion. If you got a one-man threat, 2 back guys go. If you got 2 men, 3 guys go. If you got 3 or more, 4 guys go. And if you've got an emergency, obviously, if you have an army of men behind you, you may have to reorientate the whole formation. You may have to say, formation, fall back, breach of 10 Black Snakes behind us. When the breach is cleared, you don't say all clear. That's what the front row can say to say that their situation is good. You actually say white rabbit. Just remember black and white as opposites of each other and you'll be fine. And also, in the heat of battle, you might have people crying animals and colors. You might have red panther. That's probably a Black Snake. It can get a bit hard to say the right animals when you're panicking. But if you're hearing animals, generally there's a problem behind us. Now, also, once we're in spacing, we can collapse back inwards. So remember, your combat spacing is your horizontal, and your relief lines, your back. I can say, collapse relief line, and the guys at the back will move forwards. So do that now. Collapse relief line, you move forwards, just like before. No. So not a swap. The relief line are just going to go up the arse of the dude at the front.
Okay.
So form relief line again. Relief line go back. Collapse relief line. So you come inwards. You just be up his ass. Nice like that. Front man didn't have to move. Front man stay still. And what we can actually say, because remember, I can still run between you. I can then say, collapse combat spacing. You go back inwards. All the way to your left, all the way to your left. Front row still crouching. And you're back and you do a linear that you started with. Now, if I wanted you to go inwards and get your spacing done immediately, I could just say do a linear and you'd fall straight back into that without doing the intervening steps. That's everything that we do. That's literally it. That's everything. And being able to use these and being able to do them on the spot will confuse and intimidate your enemy. That's the goal of formation work. There's maneuver warfare as well if you go to the strategy level, but at the individual level, we're talking about making enemies not wanting to attack you. It buys you time, it lets you heal. That's everything. That's the formation work, guys. You've nailed it. A second session of that, you'll all remember it permanently as long as you sort of be using it every now and then. And as you advance your ability to do it and you get better at doing it, you'll be able to help the other new guys as you start